Hey, Dr. Karen here, and today we're going to talk about phototherapy microtraining for stress. And in particular, somebody asked me, there's a lot of political stress going on. A lot of people are asking, how can I patch for that? What strategies do you have? Well, I'm here to say that it doesn't matter whether it's politics, an illness, a death in the family, stress seems to be everywhere around us. And here's the important part, we can help with mitigating some of those stress symptoms. Now, LifeWave, the company that makes the phototherapy patches, does not claim to treat, cure, prevent any medical condition. Okay, so we're talking about how do we rebalance our bodies to the goal that we would like. Maybe we would like to be more relaxed. Maybe we would like to be more calm in the face of what's going on around us. One of the misnomers, I guess, is that stress is outside of us. It is not. Things happen outside of our personal sphere of influence sometimes that can be stressful, but why are they stressful to the body? It's stressful to the body because our minds perceive it as such. So if we can condition our minds to see things from a different lens, we can actually have less stress. Yes. Now, there are certain types of physical stress that I'm going to say, yeah, there's only so much you can do, right? So say you're half naked in the middle of like minus 40 and you don't have your winter coat on. Okay, that's some physical stress. Okay, your mindset may not be helpful for you there, but but if you somebody crashes into your car in an underground parking lot, you got a dent there, you're in the middle of a conference, it's on a Sunday, you can't remember what to do, right? That could be stressful, and you could be like, oh, that's blah, 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 jerk, blah, blah, blah. They didn't, even leave a card, and, the insurance company's not, available. Oh, it's so inconvenient. Like, you could stress yourself out if you want to, but you don't have to. Now, the phototherapy patches can help you with managing some of that reaction, but at the end of the day, I would highly recommend that you start to change your mindset from this is terrible, this is bad, judge, more judgment, right? Or you could say, well, not comfortable right now. I'm not liking what I'm seeing, hearing, and I'm going to come back to here and perceive this as I don't know how this is going to serve me. It doesn't seem like it will, but I'm going to trust the universe that somehow it does, um, and let go. Now, by having that different perception or different lens that everything happens for a reason, that reason is there to serve you, is very, very different from being a victim to stressful events happening outside, whether it be politics or whatever, right? So how do the LifeWave phototherapy patches help? Well, my favorite, well, I always say this about a couple of different ones, but one of my favorites is the Aeon, the Y-Age Aeon patches. I was there for the launch of this patch, and I noticed when I was trialing this patch that I had a lot less inflammation, I had more flexibility. I'm a figure skating athlete, so that was definitely a noticeable effect. Did not understand that perhaps I was more flexible because I had less inflammation in the body. Mm-hmm. Now, how do we use this for mitigating our stress response? Well, Dr. Budzinski, sorry, had done some testing and noticed that when we have this patch on, that the autonomic nervous system goes to the balance point, like within 10 minutes. So it's very interesting that it can also help balance certain cortisol levels in certain people to be in a more balanced state. So cortisol is something you release when you're very stressed. Sometimes you can release too much and then you get depleted. So according to Dr. Stephen Haltiwanger, one of the former medical directors of the LifeWave company, he shared like what we saw was that people got better, like they got more balance, whether it was too high, too low. So that was very, very exciting news, especially for a medical doctor, and acupuncturist. So where do we put this patch to balance the nervous system? Well, one of my favorite points is behind the right ear. So if you're watching this video and you're not driving, put your hand behind the right ear, the other right. Yeah, just kidding. The right ear, okay. There is a bone here called the mastoid bone. It is a hairless area of the body. You can put an Aeon patch there. It's one of my favorite points. Why? Number one, because it's near the brain, and when the brain is more balanced, we seem, or at least I have noticed, a faster integration of that nervous system coming into a balance point. Some people have had head injuries, and I've also noticed that when they place the Aeon patch on the right side or on the center line of, of the head and neck area, that they seem to have better results from whatever else I am doing in the clinic. And thirdly, this point on Mien is for sleep and relaxation. So if you're stressed out, why not activate the sleep point? It's not actually a sleep point, it's more of a relaxation point, but it is used for sleep. Now, if this gets you too sleepy, because sometimes people will be like so stressed out when they finally flip the other way, they're like, really relax. It's very rare that that happens, but if that happens, just use them at night. What it'll do is, even when you're at night, make sure you hydrate during the day, mind you, because these work best when you're hydrated. When you sleep better at night, you have more energy during the day. So these are the results are cumulative over time. It seems to get better and better if you stay stable and that nervous system does not get that spike of stress. That's very, very helpful. So if someone is, let's just say, the extremes of stress reaction. They cannot help it. They cannot change their mindset right now because they are too stressed out. I totally get it. I was there once. I used to have all sorts of disease names I will not mention. And there was a time where I perceived everything as a stress and I was a victim. Been there, done that. Don't want to do that again. Don't want to get sick again. So this can be used. Now, this is a special strategy for severe circumstances. You can use two of these at once. So what I do is I instruct people to put one behind their ear in that relaxation point, and the second one covering the belly button. So here's my little doll here, and the belly button is conception vessel 8. You can put the second Aeon patch over conception vessel 8. If it bothers you because your skin is sensitive there, you can always put it on a waistband or a belt. This uses, there's frequencies of light, and it's non-transdermal, so there's nothing that goes through the skin, and it even works through a belt. Yes, you can actually put it on top of a belt, clothing, it still works. So 2 Aeon patches is one of the strategies for severe stress. And the other one, and this is for somebody, I had this case of a man who over a decade, I can't remember if it was 11 or 14 years. I have so many people that I talk to, I mix up the stories sometimes, so don't quote me on it. But anyway, so he just felt nervous all the time, all the time. So I said, okay, well, I have some more advanced, acupuncture point strategies. Do you want to try that? Do you want to kind of, work your way out? He goes, oh, just give it all to me. I said, okay, we're going to pull out, the more complex strategies. It's not actually complex, but it's one that I've tried a number of times and it's been very helpful. So let me share it with you. So you're going to put one Aeon patch behind the right ear in that special relaxation point, one on top of the belly button, so it covers the whole, right? And then you are going to use this patch, which is called Silent Nights. For some people, it helps them elevate melatonin and, while they're awake, serotonin, and helps with deep sleep for many people as well. You can actually place this patch and stack it on top of the Aeon behind the right ear. Now you've got 2 patches back here. Now, make sure that when you put it back here, you put it further back enough so that the edge of the patch doesn't scratch on the back of the ear area on that crease. So I put it far enough back. Believe it or not, I mean, the patch is this big, right? Acupuncture points are like this big. Don't worry, you're going to hit it. So 2 patches here, Silent Nights, Aeon, doesn't matter which one goes first, and then an Aeon on the belly button. Remember to hydrate well. The patches work best when you're well hydrated. There's an electrical system in the body, right? So sometimes putting a little pinch of Himalayan crystal salt in your water, I have more than a pinch in mine because that's how I like my water, and can really help the patches optimize the energy movement in the body. So that is, one of the fancier strategies for extreme stress that you can use. Now, one of the other things I want to tell you is about this patch. This is the original patch from LifeWave called the Energy Enhancer patches. And one of the first research articles that came out was from Dr. Nazran. And he noted that by putting The patches, white on right, there's a set of two, by the way, for energy enhancers, and you have to use both. White on right, tan on left, okay, on pericardium 6, this is where you find it, 3 finger widths down from the crease, right in the center, okay. When you put that on, it actually helps something called your heart rate variability. Now, what is that? Well, when your heart is beating, most people think, oh, I have a regular heartbeat, that's healthier. Yes and not yes. Having a regular heartbeat is helpful, but not military regular. This is actually a stress response. Actually, what happens is when you breathe and breathe out, there's a flexibility in that regularity. Okay, there's a flexibility, but if you're stressed, it is like a military march. And the energy enhancers, let's just say in this study, it enhanced that flexibility. So some doctors believe, and I've been to some conferences, very, very interesting. Some doctors have told me that the better the heart rate variability, the healthier the person is overall. It's like, wow, that's a big statement, right? So it's possible that other points, acupuncture points with energy enhancers, will do this as well. If you want to, you can use this point, pericardium 6. Why? Because it's a very calming point. It's the heart protector, right? Communicates, it's a fire element. It calms the fire element, communicates to the heart, protects the heart. So I think emotionally that can be really helpful. I've noticed some people who are very sensitive, who get, sensitive to what's going on in the world, can actually get a lot of relief by using this point. Now, this point is actually in the Energy Enhancer brochure. You can use any of the points in the brochure. It actually still has a slightly relaxing effect, even though it increases your body's ability to make the molecules of energy. So you can push and pull and last longer, not have to take a nap, so on and so forth. Very, very interesting how that works. So just to recap, 1 Aeon, 2 Aeons, Silent Nights if you need to, on top of the second Aeon, or the first Aeon rather, and then adding the energy enhancer patches can be super helpful if you feel stressed out. And like I said, while you are feeling more relaxed with the energy enhancer patches, perhaps you will be enthused or inspired to look at other ways to help you perceive the world in a different way. So you don't get upset over what's on the news. So you don't get upset no matter what politician said this or that or what's happening. That's outside of you, and your reaction to that is what causes stress or peace. So I'm wishing you lots of love and lots of peace. So if you're interested in finding out more about the patches and you do not have a brand partner to work with already, you can definitely contact my team and myself at patchtrainingteam.com, and you can get a free consult to see if trialing these are right for you. And yeah, I love this. I've been using it for 20 years, really highly recommend them. I also have a playlist of all the micro trainings, so definitely search me out on YouTube for that. And while you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, notification bell, give it a like if this is helpful, and share, share, and share. Okay, until next time, much love. Bye for now.